This is an unlimited class Ultra 4 car. This absolutely gorgeous abomination of steel, gears, and gasoline is one of the craziest things mankind has ever come up with. This is what happens when you're enough of a fucking lunatic to think about what would happen if you mix an F1 car and a Jeep. You have to be completely crazy to build one, and you have to be even crazier to drive one. I'm that crazy. I want to build one, I want to drive one, and I want to take home that world champion trophy before I die. I want to be king of hammers, at least once. Now we've got a problem. Specifically, I'm about 150 sponsors and $1 million short. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna build a couple small ones first to figure it out. Welcome to Honey, I Shrunk the Race Car. The end goal is a 1/5 scale Ultra 4 car, just how I have the full-size vehicle envisioned. But even a 1/5 scale car is very expensive, and I want to know what I'm doing before I get there. So we're going to start at 1/18th, then 1/16th, then 1/10th, and then 1/5. Now, there's some things I can't make, like motors, servos, batteries, etc., which means I'm going to have to reach my hand into the RC parts bin from the 1/18th crawler class. Now, that might sound like the easy part, but it's actually the hardest part because I'm not trying to build an RC car, I'm trying to build a remote-controlled scale race car. Now, this might sound idiotic, like a distinction without a difference, but the problem is RC cars are not designed in any way like scale vehicles. The comparison stops after looks, which means I need to shoehorn something from an RC car into something that is very much not an RC car. For that scale, we have three big problems with the aftermarket parts: weight, unsprung weight, and roll centers. The weight problem mitigates itself as we get bigger, but for 1/18th scale, it's the elephant in the room. And that's because weight scales cubically. Let's say our average race car weighs about 5,000 pounds. That means to scale, our little car should only weigh about a pound. And if you build an average 1/18th crawler, they come in at about 3 to 4 pounds, which means that to scale, that car now weighs 14,000 pounds, which is like trying to wheel a freaking cruise ship. The next issue we have to contend with is unsprung weight. Typical race cars, depending on class, have between 15 to 40% unsprung mass, but scale and full-size crawlers can have up to 90% unsprung weight, which effectively means the suspension doesn't work because you don't have enough sprung mass to control the unsprung mass through the springs. Lastly, let's talk roll centers. Briefly, I'm not going to get into the specifics because there's a lot of math, but here's the absolute basics. High speed, low roll center. This is so that the forces go into the suspension from bumps, keeping the vehicle stable at high speeds. Due to this, they have a lot of body roll and need sway bars to keep them stable. All right, lecture over. Let's see how I'm actually going to do this. It starts with a completely custom frame, in this case with two 3D printed frame rails connected with 3mm brass rods to keep that center of gravity as low as possible, but make sure the sprung weight is high. I'm going to use all off-the-shelf Endura stainless steel links because 3D printed plastic that small just isn't strong enough, and they actually make really high quality links. I really like some of their stuff. Now, unfortunately, nobody makes an axle housing that I can use, so I designed my own. These things are absolute beefcake. They have perfect link geometry, and as a bonus, I was able to make them look like little tiny 4 9-inch racing axles. I really like these things. We're going to control our body roll with what might actually set a Guinness record for the world's smallest functioning sway bars. I think this thing's going to be super sick. I'm going to use these Next Racing 1/18th coilovers because they're the only coilovers I found that to scale actually have 14 inches of travel. The steering servo is getting moved to the frame again to increase that sprung weight. That is a huge increase in sprung weight and decrease in unsprung weight. And it designed basically a perfect 1/18th 3-link with a panhard. So hopefully this thing steers great without bump steer and can soak up the whoops just like a Legends Class Ultra 4 car. Now this thing's going to get powered by a completely custom powertrain using a Castle Creations 1/18th motor and a totally custom-made gearbox. And it's all going to get bolted together with these absolute beefcake, I guess, engine mounts. This stuff to scale really doesn't work when the vehicle is this small, so we'll call them motor mounts. To top it all off, absolute unit of a scale 1/18 JL two-door body and an awesome trophy truck inspired cage.